They threw the book at them. They threw the yellow cards, the red cards. They even punched the ball in the net with their hands when they played Nigeria. All of those adversities. It didn't matter in the end because South Africa, for the first time in 16 years, returned to the biggest stage despite everything that went against them on the pitch and off it. Hugo Bruce found a way. I told you guys not to worry, that South Africa would find a way. We're back. Remember last time when they hosted it with Shabalala and all that? Jabulile rejoiced. Oh, it's back. South Africa will play FIFA World Cup football. And they haven't just qualified by being the host nation. You can't throw that one this time. They've done it on their own accord. They said Mbakazi was out. They even said Lowell Foster can't play today. No Foster, no Mbakazi, no problem. South Africa 3, Rwanda 0. Benin have folded like a pack of squirrels. Back to the nuts in the sand. Benin throw it away. South Africa make the World Cup and they've beaten Rwanda. And goodness me, what an electric start. They came out of the blocks. We see Lyle Foster wasn't going to play. Evidence Magopa comes in. 5 players from Sundowns. 5 players from Chiefs. Local talent used by Hugo Bruce. It's any African football fan's dream to see that happening. But what a start. What a shot from Mbata. Bang. What a goal. Honestly, and that set the precedent. South Africa battered them. Another clean sheet. 4 points. I said 4 points would be enough. They've got 2 clean sheets. Ronwen Williams is absurdly good. He's the best keeper on the continent. You don't get past him. They just came firing out the blocks. Apollis, man of the match. The man to make it 2-0. Another fantastic goal. A curling effort. Apollis was really good. He's going to be a big player for the South Africans. And then it was comfortable. The news filters in. 1-0 Nigeria, 2-0 Nigeria, 3-0 Nigeria. I should probably say 3-0 Osimhen. And then Evidence Magopa, bang, nods it in. It is job done. And South Africa get that win. And they will play at the FIFA World Cup in 2026. And all of a sudden, that South African league is going to be filled with a lot of players wanting to get into Hugo Bruce's squad next summer. So, I mean, goodness me, they've had some roller coaster of emotions to get to this point. They thought it wasn't even going to be tense going into match day 10. They thought it would be a roll in the park. By the time it came here, we see McQuaina's yellow card rule come into play. It didn't matter in the end, because even with the 3 points off, South Africa still topped the group. That is the sign of a good team. They finish on 18 points. Probably should be 21 in footballing terms. I should say. Nigeria gets second. Nigeria get a playoff spot. We spent the last few months talking about this intense battle, building it up between the South Africans and the Nigerians. And we're going, oh, who's going to get it? This great rivalry, West Africa against South Africa. They ended up working together, where South Africa needed to win, but they needed Nigeria to win, and vice versa. South Africa go to the World Cup. Nigeria get in those playoffs. They had to win by 4 if South Africa won, and they did. They ended up working hand by hand. The unity of the continent. Nelson Mandela would have absolutely loved it. Honestly, free Nelson Mandela. He would have loved it. But Nigeria get the second spot. They had to beat Benin by 4. They get that job done. Frank Onyeka, Thomas the Frank engine, with the late goal right at the end of the 90th minute. I told you Benin were useless. We didn't want to see Benin there. They offered nothing. They lost 3 games in North America. I'll tell you that now. They've absolutely folded like a pack of squirrels. How have they come third? They had it in their hands. They led the group about 3 hours ago. They were top. They've not even got a playoff spot. Benin miss out. Nigeria sneak into those playoffs because that extra goal. And how many times did I say they had to get the goals against Lesotho? They end up getting them against Benin. They win 4-0. But this is the South African moment. They will play at FIFA World Cup 2026. Hugo Bruce, of course, will be inspecting this squad a lot closer at the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. I actually think South Africa have a tough group that any team put in that position would find particularly difficult. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. But of course, they came third in the last edition when not many people that weren't South African expected them to do so. So, South Africa, when the game started, because of the other results, they knew that they couldn't get into the playoffs. They had to only get in that World Cup through coming first. And that's exactly what they've done. Hugo Bruce, the coolest man, not in Durban, not in Johannesburg, in the whole country, I think. The coolest man on the continent, Hugo Bruce. He never feared for 1 second. He found the way to get South Africa on that plane to USA, Mexico and Canada. The South African spine of the team is really, really good with Williams and Mbakazi coming into that defence. Of course, he'll be back after that suspension. Midfield, Mokoena. There's attacking options. You can play Foster. You can play Apollis. You can play all these guys. Magopa's going to be in there. Is Percy Tau going to re-emerge from the sunset? Who knows? But South Africa won't care about any of that right now. It's party time in Joburg and everywhere else tonight. They'll be singing in the streets of Bloemfontein until the sun rises. Well done. The drama's over. For Nigeria, though, it's only just begun. We'll be covering the playoffs on here. But well done to South Africa on reaching that FIFA World Cup in style. The win against Rwanda seals it. And it could have been more. And don't tell me Rwanda sold that game. South Africa battered them. Rwanda, under Ammi, quite frankly, have been a disgrace. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.